Pacific Harbour, Fiji. Home of the greatest shark dive on the planet, and perhaps the most successful conservation story of modern times. This story follows the staff and the volunteers on the very front line of shark conservation in the Pacific.
So it was through my volunteerism work that I developed this model and was trying out models for how we can best use volunteerism within marine conservation initiatives. And so we decided to look at whether this could work with sharks, and I came out to Fiji to set up the Fiji Shark Conservation Project. We specifically set up in Pacific Harbour so that we could work with Beqa Adventure Divers and also work on Shark Reef Marine Reserve. And we have very much taken on a grassroots approach to our shark work. We're very hands-on. We go out, we do the work, we collect the data, and then we also empower local communities by developing ways that they can protect and sustain their own natural resources. So working with Beqa Adventure Divers and Shark Reef opens up so many doors for us. We have access to a local shark population. So what we do is try and use a holistic approach for shark conservation. We've developed a program that looks at critical habitat protection first and foremost. For that, we do our tagging program, where we locate juvenile sharks, we tag them, and then we hope to find those nursery areas. We also do mangrove reforestation because those are critical nursery grounds for the juvenile sharks.
The propagills from the mango trees are collected up and planted within the nurseries. Once they have sprouted, they are then planted in areas of habitat loss. This gives the mangroves a far greater chance of survival. The mangrove nurseries are placed within the indigenous communities in the hope that this will encourage a sense of ownership and responsibility towards habitat restoration. The work carried out within the communities, helping disadvantaged families, is also key to the project's awareness campaign. But what better place to start than kindergarten? Towards the end of their working week, a welcome change of pace greets the volunteers as they prepare for a day of diving in breathtaking Beqa Lagoon. The group has also spent the last year tagging sharks in nearby Navua River, although figures have shown that this once thriving shark nursery has not much left to offer. In the space of 12 months, only 7 sharks have been caught and tagged. This trip sees the end of that 12-month period, and once again the team has come up empty-handed. It was time to come up with a new location to survey. The project is teamed up with marine biologist Celso Coich and Professor Ciro Rico from the University of the South Pacific. They'll be learning about the scalloped hammerhead as a species, as well as looking at local ecological knowledge that has suggested there could be a scalloped hammerhead nursery in nearby Villanuku. The team from the University of the South Pacific have already identified what appears to be a very abundant hammerhead nursery in the capital Suva, but are also keen to identify other nursery areas.
During my first semester, I was very fortunate to meet my supervisor, now Professor Ciro Rico, and we started discussing some of the priorities for the Pacific, and there came the rise of the topic of hammerheads. Hammerheads last year were declared an Appendix II species under CITES, and we saw the importance. We started learning about them from a previous USP student, and then that's when we got the idea to start doing some work very nearby to Suva regarding hammerheads. After we reviewed the work that this past student did, we knew that there was a lot of work to be done right there. From his 6 months of work, it was basically in one night that he got almost all his samples, all his scallop hammerheads. For you to be able to capture 80-something hammerheads in one night, that means that there is something going on in that area. We also got in communication with the local fishermen, and we started digging a little bit farther, and that's where we are right now. So far we've carried out 5 months of work, and we have some 500 sharks to present. Projects Abroad has been assisting us, you could say financially and with human resources. In the Rewa River, they have always been volunteering with us, and we hope this to keep increasing, keep moving along as the year progresses. And they have also been assisting us with other nursery areas which were reported by fishermen, which is very, very important for us to consider. Fishermen make many claims. There is local ecological knowledge, whereby the communities report to have sharks in the river, shark in their communities. Now you have to consider this might be historical knowledge. The interest now is to know, are these nursery areas still present? As an ecosystem species, they have a lot to contribute as apex predators to the ecosystem, maintaining the marine ecosystem in balance. Secondly, to the communities, Fiji is known around the world for its shark dive. A lot of tourists come yearly to do the shark dives. We haven't seen a lot of hammerheads around Fiji, but yet we know that this might possibly be a nursery area. The communities lack awareness, you could say ignorance, when it comes to the importance of the scallop hammerheads. If we could bring value to these hammerheads and present it to the communities, these communities could become stakeholders and involved in the protections of these species. First of all, because they don't have really an economic value to give to them. And most importantly, I guess, because these apex predators have a lot to contribute towards them. These fishing communities depend on fish, depend on what they can fish. Any creature that contributes towards the balance of the ecosystem contributes back to the communities. I think we should move away from that mentality that we accomplish only by what our organization accomplishes. I think the world is one world. If you want to move towards one objective, towards making the world a better place, you need to move together. Organizations, government are working for the same objective. We need to identify those objectives and move along, regardless of what it means to get to that objective. I think our priority right there is trying to ensure that this species continues to survive. We know that the fishing industry has damaged a lot the population. This is only one of the populations, but if we could use this as an example, you would be saying a lot to the world. Look, we managed to put a population in danger, but we're trying to put all our efforts back to restoring this population.
The following week, the team from the University of the South Pacific invite us to join their research boat in the Rewal River.
Get ready for measurements. And that's where we capture. We have hit the jackpot in terms of finding where the nursery areas are. With the collaboration of local fishermen who has been fishing those areas for generations, we know exactly where to go, and we have very good catch rates every night that we go out at sea. At the moment, I think we are already in the order of 500 juvenile hammerhead shark samples in only 6 months of work. By the end of the first year, I reckon that we will have at least 1,000 samples. So that will be very useful to determine the minimum number of females that come into the area. But my major goal will be to maintain a monitoring program over time to see how that fluctuates year after year, and whether the bycatch from the local fishermen is affecting the population in any way. But with the current data, we will certainly be able to have very clear questions and very clear answers to seek for extra funding.
The conservation of the species is what the stakeholders, is what the community gives it, the value. We have to be honest and say that pretty much everything has to be given a value in order for us to value it. Now, for us to know what we have, first we need to go and do the science. What I would wish would happen would be that the communities of Fiji, the people of Fiji, the government of Fiji are able to give it a value. Something that is really valuable to Fiji, not only as an ecosystem species, but as an iconic species. It's a scallop hammerhead. Many people are in awe when they see a scallop hammerhead for the first time in the waters. I guess the big dream is to try to establish marine protected areas for this species. If we could put one example, such as the Rewa River Estuary as a nursery area, we could get other people, other organizations, the Fiji government interested in, well, we found one nursery in Fiji, there might be more. Let's go out, let's start asking questions, let's start investigating. At least let's do that. This might bring up to maybe there's only one nursery here, maybe there are many, many more, maybe there are many other nurseries for other species, but we need to start looking. We need to start looking in order to find answers, in order to try to put management strategies for these species. Ultimately, if we do find them, once we stumble upon them, I guess it is up to us to try to manage them. We have been blessed with many, many resources. The people of Fiji have been blessed with many, many resources. If you know what you have, then I guess the least that can be expected from you is to manage them.
To influence policy in any country, not only in Fiji, is very difficult. But if you can show the importance of a particular geographical area in the reproduction and survival of a species, then influence policy becomes easier. And my main goal will be to be able to collect sufficient data that demonstrate that the nursery areas for sharks in Fiji are fundamental to their survival. We can at least reduce the fishing mortality altogether in the nursery areas. I think we will be making a major step towards the conservation of these species, not only in Fiji, but globally.
Before I start this interview, I want to say that I really love sharks. We started this one like almost 15, 16 years ago, and we didn't know on that day it's going to be big like this. Before Christianity, there are people who worship something as their god. So the people of Beqa, they choose sharks to be their god. You know, they are the king of the ocean, and they rule the ocean, they balance the ocean, and we always respect when we come. pass every village, everybody look at me. There's a fish warden. Yeah, he can confiscate the boat, he confiscate the fish. He's very, very, very scared guy. All these people, they know that. Thousands of people in Pacific Harbor, they know Papa is a fish warden. It's not. I'm not only a fish, shark feeder. I'm also a fish warden. Yeah, so we want to let the community know that we are very, very serious about setting up a marine reserve area like today.